All right, here we go. So I am playing Azamina Mitsurugi Snake Eyes Fiendsmith, and I am going to put up an unbreakable board. And of course, my opponent's not going to be able to like crack this board. Don't worry, it's just too powerful, and I have everything. Literally, I have everything in my hand. So the only thing I don't have access to is Azamina, which is fine because we're still going to get an Omni Negate because we got Great Purification in our hand. So we're going to go Habakiri, the Mitsurugi right here. And we're just going to make a few plays. I'm going to summon out an additional level 4. There we go. And just like this, I'm going to go ahead and go right into our Infernal Flame Banshee. Now, I'm just doing this early so I can go ahead and get access to Snake Eyes just in case my opponent has a Nibiru. If he wants to drop Nibiru, like he would be dropping it kind of on just my Snake Eyes engine. But once I get through this Snake Eyes engine and then I start going into like Fiendsmith, then it becomes even more difficult for him to actually crack the board. So like as the time goes along, this board just becomes harder and harder for him to crack. So I mean, getting out the full combo, if I get out my full combo with this deck, there's like almost no deck that can beat it because you're basically playing three different you're basically playing three decks in one, plus Azamina as a kind of like an engine, a small engine. Um, and so it's already hard enough for a player to play through just like DDD Wave King High Caesar, but to play through Caesar, to play through Promethean Princess, the Snake Eyes combo inboard, plus the to play through the Mitsurugi inboard, like to try to play through all of this stuff, and you're basically playing three decks at one time. So, you know, how difficult would that be to actually beat? And so we're gonna go ahead and go into Requiem right here. And he's not interrupting at all, so we're getting full combo. Full combo. So we're just gonna go ahead and go right into Engraver right here. And then we're gonna make DDD Wave King High Caesar. Now, there is a point where when I'm doing my Mitsurugi combos that I actually have to link off Mirakumo, which I wanted to keep Mirakumo on the field, but Futsu is just it's just too good to not have an inboard with Futsu on it. Like Futsu can resummon all of your other Mitsurugi. So once they start cracking the board, most of the time people don't realize how bad, like how overwhelming Futsu can be. So they'll try to play through. They'll pretty much clear all of your actual like interruptions that do things to them, and then they'll let Futsu stay on the field and they'll try to play through that. And each time they summon a monster, Futsu just brings something back. So you can bring Mirakumo back and just wipe their field. They keep bringing more monsters back, and then they'll start trying to pop Futsu, and your little ones will basically like protect it. So it just becomes this thing where it's like Futsu can just become overwhelming as they're trying to play. So I love it though. I love it. It's one of the funniest interruptions. So let me go through what all we have here. So from the graveyard, we have our Mirakumo, which we can summon because Futsu's on the field. So it can come back. It can board wipe. It can discard, force them to discard to resolve effects. So and it can also search as well. So Mirakumo can do three things. Two of those will be interruptions for my opponent. And then we also get the Habakiri, which can also search, and it can reduce my opponent's attack to 0. We can get protection from all of the little Mitsurugi monsters. So Saji, Kusanagi, Aramasa, we can get protection from all of those by resummoning them back from Futsu. So don't worry. We got that as well. Then we also have the Fiendsmith Requiem plus the Lacrima to actually send the trap to the graveyard on my opponent's turn. Then we also have a pop with Amblo Whale, search on my opponent's turn with Poplar, search with Ash, because both of those will resummon. And also the Poplar will also set the whatever I want into the back row. So that'll happen as well. And then we also have Link Rebo to change an attack to 0 when my opponents try to attack into my board. We got Promethean Princess to pop a special summon monster on the field when they do special summon something. So that's another interruption. And then what else do we have? I think that might be it. Come on, game. Let me look at my fucking graveyard. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then of course we were able to search Maxx off of the Retaliating Sea, which is one of the things that I love doing with Retaliating Sea is just link that shit off. It gives you Maxx. So 5 copies. We got 5 ways of getting Maxx. Either 2 by drawing one of the 2, or just putting Retaliating Sea on the field and link that bitch off on your turn, and then guess what? You got Maxx in your hand, so you can Maxx your opponent on their turn. Now, I hate Maxx, but you can absolutely fuck people over hardcore with this because you can build a unbreakable board and then Maxx them just to make it even more unbreakable. So I think that shit's funny. I hate the fucking card so much. It should be banned, and that's why I love using it, is because I want to abuse this shit so hard that people start saying ban that fucking card. Like, I want to use it with an unbeatable board and put this shit on top of that too, just to make it even more unbeatable. I think it's funny. So we're gonna also have IP Masquerena to link off my opponent's cards. We're gonna go into the Underworld Goddess with this. So Underworld Goddess has 3 interruptions. It can negate a graveyard summon. When it's summoned to the field, it also negates all monsters on the field, and it has a tribute effect. So it can actually tribute one of the monsters, or even 2 if it's a link to monster on your opponent's side of the field. So yeah. Or not 2, but it can tribute a link 2 for material. And it'll count as 2 materials too if they have a link 2. We also have Great Purification, which is an Omni Negate, and then we got 2 special summon negates with DDD, Wave King, High Caesar, and then we got Futsu, which is like our main way of just resummoning shit. And then I just made Moon of the Closed Heavens to create space so I can actually summon IP Masquerena. Otherwise, it would have been a dead card in the back row because I would have had to wait for them to like basically destroy shit on my field, and I don't want to do that. I want to do the plays that I want to do when I want to do them. So, yeah. So, of course, I'm going to Maxx. He's going to activate Ash Blossom. And I'm going to Purification his Ash Blossom because that Maxx is resolving, my boy. So, he's going to activate Wanted. Of course, I'm going to Ash his Wanted. So, yeah. Chain Link 5 on that. Just the Maxx game just created a nice little mini game right there. So Futsu's going to resummon. We're going to chain block that with Mirror. I mean, if he had Call by the Grave, he could actually just Call by the Grave that shit. So we're going to add Prayers to our hand. And then he's going to activate Deception right here. So I'm going to activate Lacrima because the second that he puts a monster on the field, I want to be able to have access to getting rid of it or doing whatever the fuck I want to it. So we're going to activate Lacrima right here to send Fiendsmith Engraver, and then he activates Triple Tactics Talent. Now I want to go ahead and put, okay, let me explain this real quick. I want to go ahead and put IP Masquerena out on the field, so then that way it gives him an option to take something, depending on what he takes, because he's definitely not going for a draw 2 here. He absolutely has to grab something, and I can tell you this, his main choice is probably going to be DDD Wave King High Caesar or IP Masquerena, because they're the 2 main interrupters. If he grabs Wave King High Caesar, it basically shuts off Futsu, and it also shuts off IP Masquerena. But I have thought of all of this when making this deck. So I know how this deck plays. The only winnable solution he has right here that could actually work, that he would have to do, would be he would have to go DDD Wave King High Caesar, take it with triple tactic talent, and then enter the battle phase. Would have to be what he would have to do to actually beat me right here. Not necessarily to beat me, but to win what he's going to try to do. He has to enter the battle phase, and then he has to attack into IP Masquerena. That has to be the play that he makes, because that eliminates two of my interruptions, the main two of my interruptions, by the way. And then in doing so, what would happen is when he makes his summons, he would just play into Futsu. But there's a workaround with that too, because what he has on the field, Deception, he can make Ilya Silva and then just negate Futsu. Now, it would only negate one time, and then Futsu would just activate again. But at least he would be able to stop Futsu once at least, right? Or not necessarily even Futsu, but he could wait until I resummon off Mirakumo with Futsu and then just negate Mirakumo. But then he would lose a card in his hand because I would just chain Mirakumo to Ilya Silva anyways. So yeah, a nice little mini game that he would have to play here. So he's going to grab the DDD Wave King Caesar. Just like I said, he's going to activate the Art Mage. And because I'm big brain play, I know I need to get Wave King High Caesar. This is why he should have entered battle phase. Because if he read the graveyard, he would know that I had the trap. I just sent the trap, so he should know that. So I sent the trap to the graveyard, which means that now I can send DDD Wave King High Caesar off the field to the grave just like that. And then boom, activate IP Masquerena, link his monster off. And he don't want no part of that. My boy is gone. He had to get the fuck up out of there because he knew it was that was his ass. It didn't matter if I went into SP Little Knight or what. Like, it was his ass. And I don't have SP Little Knight in the deck, but bro, I was finna tribute his shit off. And then, bro, how you gonna beat me after that? Like, you're cooked. I still had Promethean Princess. I still was finna link all the shit off. I was about to do some searching. And then on the next turn, if all of this shit, even if you cleared every monster off my side of the field, you know I got prayers in my hand because you saw me search it. So all I got to do is just prayers, get one body on the field, and guess what? Guess what was live in my graveyard? Remember that trap I activated, that Omni Negate? Yeah, that shit summons a monster from the graveyard. And so, boom, board wipe with Mirakumo. Like, I had follow-up. Fucking Fiendsmith follow-up. So I had Fiendsmith in my grave. I had fucking Snake Eyes plays that I could still make. The only way he could get rid of my Snake Eyes stuff is he has to get rid of every single fire monster on the field, and he cannot summon. He cannot allow me to end the turn with Promethean on the field. So, or a fire monster for that matter. Especially not Flamberge. Flamberge would just automatically just fucking shit on him. So yeah, he was kind of cooked. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video, and hopefully y'all enjoy my play style, because like, I'm a thoughtful player. Like, I'm not one of these like fucking dumbasses that go in, play a match, and just get absolutely wrecked and be like, oh, I misplayed. Like, nah. I put that noggin to work, bruh.